If you're progressing and you're not injuring yourself and you're recovering from your training and you're getting results, then you're doing something right. And then if anybody says anything you're doing something wrong, well, you tell them to go kick rocks. It's okay. You're doing okay. Like, there's a lot of different ways to train. Are you progressing or not, right? And are you limiting your risk of injury? That's what you want to do. And eat your protein so that you actually recover and grow from your training.
Hey, I'm Jessica Goins. I'm a nurse practitioner and owner of Optum Life Health in Dallas. And this is my husband, Bradley Goins. And together we own Going Strong Fitness in Dallas and Cherryville. And we're doing a series on fitness. And so today we're going to talk about what, Caleb?
We're going to talk about the different muscle groups, the major muscle groups, and how we split them up.
Okay.
Love
Do you
it.
want to start?
Oh, sure. I'll start with the fundamentals. And this is what I always tell people. So I'm going to refer you to this video if you ask me in person, how should I train? Because I get this question all the time. You think about it like this. You got your chest, right? You got shoulders, which is, you got front, medial, rear delt. Chest, you've got, lower, upper, mid. I'm just kind of breaking it up a little bit. Legs, right? That's your big muscle group, and your back. But legs, you've got your quads, you've got your inner thigh, your adductors, you've got your outer, you've got your, some people just get into the glute part, but you got the outer part here. That is still part of your leg. You're going to work that on leg day. And then your hamstrings, which a lot of people neglect their hamstrings or don't train them enough. So especially people who do a lot of CrossFit and stuff like that, there's not a lot of hamstring work in that. So those are your legs, breaking up that. You got your calves. Don't forget the calves, guys.
Bis and tris.
Right?
And then you said back.
And then, so I get to the arms. Calm down.
Sorry.
I'll get to the arms. You're getting indirect work on the arms when you work your upper body. So the arms are sort of like, I think of them as an accessory, but you should focus on them.
Well, you still have to do them.
You should still do them, yes. And then you got your back, but you got your lats, you've got your, but most people don't need to worry about all the nuances of that, but that will play into how we tell you how to split up the training. And then you have your core, which I almost never train because that is mostly made in the diet. Go back and watch the diet videos. But you need to you do some direct ab work. You don't have to go crazy with it like some people will.
Yeah.
People will train abs like every day.
But
A little bit every day is fine.
If you picked 2 exercises and you went back and forth like a superset between the 2, and you started your workout with that, it would literally take you 5 to 6 minutes, and that's a good little warm up.
For abs? Yes, abs are a good warm up.
But you don't have to. I'm just saying.
For which I almost never do,
want a
which is
strong
bad.
Core, you do that, and that way you're not killing yourself. They're never like hardly sore, but you'll get a super strong core. And if you have your diet right, you'll be able to see them.
Are you saying my core's weak?
No, you have a strong core.
I don't train it.
Think that a lot of people do want to do it, and I find that it makes you start to warm up a little bit when you do it.
Yes.
And then you can finish stretching or whatever. So you kind of, like, you first get there and sometimes you don't feel like doing it. So if you lay down on the floor, and then you do some abs on the mat,
Yep.
kind of gets you going. I'm just saying, little tip there. You don't have to do it.
I agree with you.
You don't have to do it.
I should be doing leg raises and stuff every day.
I haven't been doing it lately.
Well, I didn't because I had the hernia.
I've been doing it like once a week, if that. I know, but I used to do it every exercise. Every exercise day, I guess.
Well, I've skipped it for the last several months because of hernia.
Anyway, we won't get caught up on it.
Let me recap what I just said. Chest, shoulders, legs. Probably should have said legs first because guys like to skip that. Your back. Those are the big muscle groups. You got your arms. A lot of times people will do arms and then they neglect a lot of other stuff. They do the easy stuff. Everybody wants big arms. Well, it's like if you want big arms, you need to have big chest and a big back. Your arms are not going to just miraculously get big if you're a guy. Now, ladies, you don't need to worry about this. You're not going to get big. You're just not genetically made to get big. So those are the fundamental body parts you need to be thinking about working when you go to develop a training routine, right? Okay, well, how many sets? How many reps?
Oh.
Right? You can get into
There's not one.
there's not
one answer.
there's
for that.
no one way. So, like if somebody's a beginner, what do we tell them? We tell them start with a full body. Because they're like, if I tell them to go do this big long 4-day split routine, they're like, man, I'm sore. I can't get to the gym 4 days. What if I miss a day?
You could.
They have to get used to the routine of it.
And beginner usually does well with 2 full body days or 3 days split.
Yeah, because it's an easier commitment. So we always try to start people at the beginning at ground level, 2 full body days. So what does that look like? We've had some stuff we've printed off for people in the past, but usually 2 exercises per body part, per major body part. So, legs would be on a quad focus day, if you're doing a quad focus day, because you do a full?
You wouldn't, if it's a beginner, it wouldn't be a quad focus. It would have to be just
Always a leg press or a squat movement.
What I like to do
Regardless.
for a beginner for legs is just extension, curl, and a leg press. I know that's 3 things, but
there are 3 major parts of
it helps.
If you did leg press and it was a good quad leg press, you could probably get away with leg extensions. Without doing leg extensions, you have to do direct hamstring work.
Yes.
So you need to have a hamstring curl in there. And then you can get into like stiff leg deadlifts and stuff. But a hamstring curl, because your hamstrings don't get hit as hard on a leg press or a squat as your quads do typically. Actually, squats don't hit, most people the way they do them don't hit quads very hard.
No.
So that's why I like a leg press better. But, you would have 2 exercises for like legs. I would say leg press and a curl and a leg extension if you're going to throw in a 3rd one. And then for back, a pull down. There's 2 ways you can work the back. You can pull down and you can pull from the front. And then you can get into the angles about, am I pulling a little bit more from the upper? There's a lot of different muscles in the back.
If it's a beginner, it should just be a lat pull down and a seated row.
Right.
Period.
So for a beginner, some pull down machine from overhead could be cable. If you can do pull-ups, by all means do pull-ups. But, hitting that
If they can do pull-ups, they're probably not
8
a
to
beginner.
15 rep range. I like a little bit higher for beginners until they get used to that mind-muscle connection. Doing a little bit higher rep, that way you can do a little bit lower weight and just focus on the movement. It ain't about how fast you can go. It's like, so you want to get the squeeze.
Yeah.
And then you do a row. And you can switch that up every workout. You could do a different row. Just make sure there's some consistency.
Especially at our gym because we have like so many different.
We only have about 30
seated
back
rows.
machines at Going Strong Fitness in Dallas. So, and then more in Cherryville.
But
Little plug.
if you are doing that, you can use a different one every time. But it is kind of good to do like we had talked about before. If you do it on the same machine, so you can see your progression.
What you'll
That's the only
find, what
thing.
you'll find is over time you'll find a machine. Now, if you go to a regular gym that's not Going Strong Fitness, they have only one choice for
So
you to
it's
choose
much
from.
easier.
So it's much easier. But if you come to our gym, you're going to have multiple choices. What I do is I have my go-to machines that I know last time I did this weight for this many reps. And if I come back to that machine in a month, I should be able to add a rep or 2. Even at an advanced level, I should be trying to progress.
But a beginner is going to make faster progress.
Right. Beginners should be trying to say, hey, let me add 10 pounds
Yeah.
until I can't do that anymore. And don't get frustrated if you plateau. It's not a plateau. It's just your body can't infinitely get stronger. Like it's not going to continue linearly forever. You reach a certain point and then it levels off and then you battle to get stronger and continue that progress.
Okay, now move away from
Back.
back.
Yep. So back, we got back covered.
I
Shoulders.
was going to say do shoulders.
Shoulders, it depends on how you do the row. So when you do a back row and you have your elbows high, you're working the back of your shoulders.
They wouldn't do that though. If
Probably
we
not.
were telling them if it was a beginner, they would be doing more of a low.
They should do a low row.
So
So
they would have to do
I would
a
do,
specific
you really
row.
kind of need 3 exercises for the shoulder. The way to break up the shoulder would be some kind of pulling movement where you're pulling with your elbows high because that's going to work the rear delt, the back of the shoulder. Or we have a machine like where you can do your rear delts and actually like a reverse chest fly.
You can take a rope and do it, but I think that a machine is great for beginners.
I think a machine where you're doing a row this way puts a little bit more weight and intensity onto the rear delt.
Yeah.
And I think if you're trying to build strength and muscular development in the back of the shoulder, that's a better choice than doing the rope pulls. That's a good finishing movement. It draws blood into the shoulder. Nothing wrong with it. It's just my preference. And then you got your lateral raises, which you know, if you're lucky enough to have like a standing lateral raise machine at your gym, we have one at Going Strong Fitness. That's a good one. A
Obviously,
seated lateral
You
raise
could start with really lightweight dumbbells.
and light dumbbells. And I never go above 30-pound dumbbells, because then when you start going too heavy, you're not using your shoulder anymore. You're using momentum. You're using your traps. If you're a guy trying to do, and you're swinging and you got your elbows bent, no, just take 10-pound dumbbells and do this. And do that for 8 weeks, and I promise you, you will see more development in that 8 weeks than you saw in the previous 8 months, just by lowering the weight, because you're holding the weight out here and you're actually working the muscle you're trying to work. And then front delt, a shoulder press.
You can do front raises with dumbbells, or
That would be secondary to shoulder press. So
But
I would
yeah.
say if you're short on time and you're going to make like what's going to be the biggest
Oh, yeah.
bang.
shoulder press.
Compound
And you
movements for
can- For a beginner, you could do a shoulder press machine, or you can do dumbbells. But a lot of, like we said, machines are usually best for beginners at first, because it keeps you in the right
I'm 80%.
position. So like if you haven't been used to using dumbbells, you might be wobbly at first, where that machine's going to have you
Yeah.
right where you need to be, or whatever.
But I use machines at an advanced level for 80% of my movements.
Right.
And I throw in free weight dumbbells and stuff when I want to.
You obviously want to do both, but I'm just saying that a
Yeah.
beginner should start.
Yeah, but I'm saying you could do it forever if you want to. You don't have to do free weights if you don't feel comfortable
I
with
personally
it.
like.
You should start to
dumbbells
try.
for my press, but I do
I-
like
I
that new
agree.
machine that we just got that comes
The Nautilus.
converges or whatever.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Because it's one of the best ones ever developed.
So for the shoulders, it was basically 3 major things: the rear,
Only
the
because you have
side,
3 different-
and then the press.
There's more than 3 muscles, but it's basically we break it up front, medial, or
Yeah.
lateral, and then rear delt of the shoulder.
And this is obviously starting simple because it's for a beginner.
You could do an upright row that kind of hits everything,
Could.
like a cable upright row. I prefer those with a
And
bar.
then what about chest?
So chest, I usually try to start with like incline to do the upper chest. So like an incline machine, could do it on a Smith machine. You can do it on a rig, free weights with a barbell, but I would skip that. I would do dumbbells for the stretch. You get more out of that. I think if you're going to go heavier, I would do it on a Smith machine. That's what I do. I don't even do barbell free weight
I don't think a beginner really should
on a Smith machine.
barbell free. No.
No, not barbell. No, not barbell free.
Not barbell free. They could learn.
Dumbbell?
They could do a chest, incline chest machine, and then they could start
Yeah.
getting used to the dumbbells.
That's correct.
because you do need to get used to using dumbbells.
You should.
Like as much as we love machines, you still need to be able to do dumbbells
For
because
s-
you need the stability
For certain movements, I think for chest, dumbbells are very good.
and the shoulder press.
But if you have the right machines, like we have at Going Strong Fitness, what we got? We got the Stairmaster incline. We've got the Hammer Strength incline, plate loaded and selectable. So that's 3. There's another one. Oh, we have the Cybex incline. I don't have the Life Fitness one. I don't need it. Oh, we have the transformer, the buying your transformer that you can do incline on that converges. So we have some converging style, which gives you the feel of free weights, kind of, on a machine, but makes it really easy.
So you started with the incline.
Yep, and then a flat press. If you only do 2 exercises, incline press and a flat press. If you can do dips, maybe a dip machine as a third option. And then if you want to throw in some more stuff, you can throw in a fly.
Yeah.
Or you could alternate, but I think you should always, the pressing movements are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck as far as strength and muscular development, right? You know, some of those follow-on exercises are accessory exercises, and you're not so like you'll see ladies a lot of times go in and do legs, right? And they do some leg extensions, they do some adductor. They didn't touch a leg press, they didn't do any body weight squats. But the biggest bang for your buck is going to be, I would rather you go in there and do like 4 sets on a leg press with good intensity than even touch the leg curl, leg extension. You're going to get more out of that 4 sets than you would just throwing in the accessory movements, because you still need to move a little bit of weight to stimulate that muscle. So, I mean, not that there's no benefit to a leg extension, there is, but that shouldn't be your primary movement.
So we said for legs already, right?
Mm-hmm.
We said extension.
And then arms. We haven't done
curl.
arms.
Okay, and like, so yeah, so do arms and then we'll recap and then we'll
Yep.
be done with this.
Yep. So arms for biceps, I would say a good preacher curl movement, relatively lower and intermediate weight. That should not be a heavy movement. So guys will put like big dumbbell, like you want to pop a bicep, that's a good way to do it. Don't do that, but focus on the form on a preacher curl. So preacher curl style, cable curls, either standing, you can go behind you, like one arm at a time. Tons of videos online for that. And then, you know, maybe throw in some dumbbells and you rotate those. I think you should do, but you can only work the bicep 2 different ways. You can do it like a preacher curl with your arms up like this. You can do a hammer curl movement like this. I don't like doing dumbbells for that. I like cables for that because you get constant tension on the bicep. Those are the 2 ways. If you have 2 exercises, some movement that does this and some movement where your wrist is this way. And then for triceps, you know, a press down like seated dip, like we have the Life Fitness one that we have is a good one. Maybe a seated dip or regular dips if you're able to do them. We have a assisted dip machine. That's another option. So I think a dip where you're, you know, really focused on that tricep, and then, you know, some kind of cable or V-bar press down on the cable machine. You can do that in, you know, as you get a little bit more advanced, maybe some overhead rope, overhead where you're getting that stretch, where you get a good stretch on the tricep. That's a good thing to do. You can also do that on a cable machine, just standing there, and you can get
There's
a
lot
good
of
stretch.
different ways to work your arms.
So many different ways.
So basically, for a beginner, you would choose, the point is to choose several different things per muscle group. So the biggest bang for the buck for the legs was a leg press and a curl. And then if you still have time, an extension.
Yep.
Okay. And then for chest, you said incline and a flat or flies.
Machine or dumbbell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoulders, we're going to hit the rear delts with a machine, preferably, if we can.
Yeah, like a back row machine where your
Yeah.
elbows are high, or you could do it with cables.
And then side raises or lateral raises with a machine or dumbbells, and then a dumbbell or a
You
shoulder
could use
press.
cable on that too.
Yeah, a shoulder press with dumbbells or machine. Okay, and then what am I? Back. We said a lat pull down and a seated row.
Right, pulling from overhead and pulling from the front.
And then arms, you would, if it's a beginner, you know, and you're throwing arms in with something else, you could just choose one thing for biceps and one thing for triceps.
You
But
could.
yeah. So it just depends. But normally we do 2 exercises per, for at least.
Yeah.
And then we didn't talk about calves. You could do calves. That's, you know, largely genetic anyway, but you could do them.
A standing calf raises be my first choice
Yeah.
for a couple sets.
And then that's it. So the next part would be to dive into splits and things like that, and that will be for the next video, as we do not want to, you know, keep going and make this an hour long.
No, and I will say one thing.
We'll do it.
One thing. Don't overthink the exercise selection and how perfect you are with it. Like these Instagram influencers would be like, well, you got to get this optimal angle here. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like some guy that weighs $140 who's 19 years old telling you this. No offense to them, but a lot of that's just a waste of freaking time and energy. Just go in there and and work and do it consistently and challenge yourself, you will get stronger. That's what builds muscle.
Right. You're not going to be
It's-
perfect at first.
It's simple.
And as long as you have the majority of the technique correct and you're not hurting yourself, and that's
Right.
great, right? But you don't need to worry about, like he said,
Yeah.
every little angle and all that. If it's dramatically bad, you want to
Yeah.
fix that.
Right.
But yeah,
If you're
right.
progressing and you're not injuring yourself and you're recovering from your training and you're getting results, then you're doing something right. And then if anybody says anything you're doing something wrong, well, you tell them to go kick rocks. It's okay. You're doing okay. Like, there's a lot of different ways to train. Are you progressing or not, right? And are you limiting your risk of injury?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to do. And eat your protein so that you actually recover and grow from your training.
Yep.
So I wanted to say that. I had to throw that
No,
in there.
I'm glad you did.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so we'll see you in the next video.
See ya.